Uh, Abstract brainwaves, game genie in a beanie. We ain't on the same stage, leveled up. The epitome of technique, can't survive in my current thought.
Other yellow hat guy here, back with another video. And yes, if you've been watching the other two parts, Go Fest Part 1 and 2, you've heard me talk about some stuff that Niantic has changed in the game, what they're doing. Before I get into that, I want to say that Dust Settles Part 5 I'm still working on. Last video I thought I mentioned, oh, maybe I'll have it done by then, but probably won't. I don't know what new stuff they'll have by the time I actually finish those 5 raids, so I figured let me just go ahead and upload this video, and whatever's after the dust settles, I'll talk about that the next video. That said, there was a Articuno that was like a raid boss for that Wednesday after Go Fest, and I did get a shiny there. So I know I talked about that before, but yes, I got the shiny. Part of the research for after the dust settles was to fuse Lunala or Solgaleo. So whichever one you chose, you had to fuse them then. So if you made the mistake and was fusing a whole bunch of them before, you paid for that mistake because Necrozma is now gone, and you still need the energy because for at least one you had to fuse. So you didn't. If you chose Lunala, you don't have to fuse Lunala. You could still fuse Solgaleo, but you had to do one of them. So hopefully nobody jumped the gun early and did a whole bunch of fusions or whatever. And maybe it's not that possible. Maybe it's not possible to do a whole bunch. I don't know. But I found out ahead of time from others, like, hey, don't fuse yet. You've got to do it for a research. So not knowing how many times they were going to ask you to do it, I held off on that until now. So I took one of my shinies and fused it, and it looks pretty cool. I like that. So there's a Better Together research, and this is brand new. It's got a Pokemon called Tandemaus, and it's very cute. I like that Pokemon. That was something new that they added to the game, and they're in a pair. Okay, Tandemaus is like 1 and 2. They look like stitched stuffed teddy bears, white stuffed teddy bears. They could look kind of creepy if you choose to look at them that way. I picture them with like butcher knives or something freaky like that. But yeah, Tandemaus, and then it has its evolution, which I believe I evolved, but may not have got a screen grab of it. Let me actually look in my game to see. So forgive me if it's not up here, but I at least want to speak to it because I've got all my footage pretty much archived already. So this unfortunately won't be in there. So when I look at my Pokemon, and give me a second. I got a whole bunch of garbage in here that my auto catcher got that I've got to delete anyway. But that thing comes from a research that says trade a Pokemon. So I've got another one on the way, and its evolution. I need more Tandemaus candies. Okay, let me actually see because I got another one recently. Another 2, or maybe 3. I don't see my Tandemaus. I know it turns into like a set of 3. I just gotta figure out what oh, here we go. Mosshold. And it's not even a set of 3, it's a set of 4 actually. When I spin them around, it's 4 of those guys. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't have another evolution, but it's cool to either just see a group of Pokemon that's not Diglett, and then also maybe if you made them your buddy, you got a whole army, a little army behind you, a whole team. So that's cool too. So that one is not out in the wild. You've got to do the researches to get them. So I think it's cool that some Pokemon, you know, that incentivizes you to do the research. If there was a Pokemon that they put and you had to do a scan, oh heaven forbid, I think I would have to start doing those. But that's the only way. I'm not scanning for items, and hopefully they don't get the idea to start doing that to force you to do stuff. I know maybe they can make cooler things for you to do to scan. That should be optional. Excuse me. But it shouldn't be things that it's like, oh, you can only get this if you scan this, you know. I would disagree with that. I think a lot of people would groan at that too. So Tandem Mouse is new, and you get that through the Trade of Pokemon research. So that's cool. Go Fest is over with. I did have fun with that. I wish I could have continued getting more Pokemon. Like I said, I'm on step 5 of it and got most of it done. I just got to do a few more raids, and then I'm done with that. I'm at a comfortable spot in the game where I'm still grinding XP, but a lot of these little rinky-dink researches that were just lingering on, I got out of the way. So Masterwork, I'm at step 3 of 7. I got to catch a Pokemon on 21 different days. I've got 14 of those done. So really we're looking at, by this time next weekend, I should be on step 4 or 5 or whatever. Masterwork, I'm on step 4 out of 6. I've got to obtain a lucky Pokemon in a trade, and then I've also got to make the 385 excellent throw. So that's the one I was talking about before. So those are the 3 researches I have left, and I'm in the middle, or if not towards the end of all 3 of them. So there should be just 2 of these left when we get into the meat and potatoes of what's out there coming up, right? So let's talk about what Niantic is changing in the game before I end this video. Niantic updated their terms of service. I know a lot of us look at terms of service on different things, on the computer mainly, and you may not even scroll all the way. But a lot of times what that is these companies protecting themselves from being sued, or also protecting their intellectual property. And Niantic updated theirs in a way that is going to redefine what cheating actually is. What actually is cheating in Pokemon Go? A lot of us looked at cheating as, at least me and my group, as spoofing, moving your location to have an advantage. That's clearly cheating. I don't think anyone can dispute that. Do you care? Are you harming anyone? Not necessarily. But if you're spoofing and then you're using these spoofed Pokemon to beat people in these battles, PvP, I think that that's clearly wrong, right? Maybe you're disabled or something, right? We've had this conversation a long, long time ago, but it hasn't really changed for me, and clearly not for Niantic. If you're doing any of that, and maybe you have an ailment or something, it's probably best that you keep it to yourself, because they have been more strategic in finding out what these tools are that people are using to change their location, and they're just banning you. Okay? They've been giving people warnings, and I think up to 2 strikes, and the 3rd strike, account is terminated. They tell you to remove whatever illegal stuff is off of your device, and then you're out of here. If you're using a step counter, which I know is popular, they're now saying that that's a problem. I don't remember the actual language, but they pretty much said anything that you're using that isn't from them, and I'm paraphrasing, is pretty much a form of cheating. Yeah. So they want you to be using the Go Plus and the Go Plus Plus. They haven't name dropped anything like a Gotcha or Gotcha Evolve, but they kind of look at those things, even though they're pretty similar, as unofficial. So does unofficial mean cheating? Depends on who you ask, but it's important that you guys are aware of that. And I'm only making this video because some of you guys don't pay attention to any of that stuff, and it's really important. So let's go over it real quick. I think I've got the images somewhere, just for some clarity on what they're actually saying. Okay. So cheating, Niantic, prohibits cheating, and we constantly take steps to improve our anti-cheat measures. Cheating includes any action that attempts to or actually alters or interferes with normal behavior or rules of service. Cheating includes, but is not limited to, any of the following behavior on your own behalf or on behalf of others. Accessing services in an unauthorized manner, including or using modified or unofficial third-party software. So, unofficial third-party software, that could still be PokeRaid or PokeGenie or any of these things that, some of these apps allow you to make friends overseas and do raids. I don't know if that counts. I don't know how the programming in that works, because as far as I know, that's allowing you to pretty much remote raid. You become friends with somebody, you share codes, and then it allows whoever's hosting to see who wants to be friends with them. They becomes friends with that person. The app makes that communication, and then when the person's ready to start the lobby, you start the lobby, and everyone who said they want to be in the raid is there. So if anything, it's just kind of cutting out any barrier between the distance. I wouldn't say that that's spoofing if you're having to use a remote raid pass anyway. But again, unauthorized manner, unofficial third-party software. So not really clear there, but don't be surprised if something crazy happens. Now here's the kicker. Playing with multiple accounts for the same service. So if you've got multiple accounts to trade or battle, they consider that cheating now. And maybe it was to begin with. I personally don't see anything wrong with it, but I don't make the rules. You know, I see nothing wrong if you've got friends and they're far away or whatever, and you can't meet with them. If you just have a second account and you're not spoofing or anything, and you're battling yourself to get through some of these stupid, researches, I don't see anything wrong with that. This is not me telling you to do it or anything. You do what you want to do, but that's an important declaration there. Sharing accounts. So it says playing with multiple accounts for the same service, and then sharing accounts. So if you're sharing with your son or daughter or your husband, that's a problem. So what are you going to say then? What's the difference there? Playing with multiple accounts for the same service. If my brother or buddy stops playing, I'm not allowed to use his account. There's a gray line there, because if it's their account, are we sharing? Or if I'm playing for them because they don't play anymore, is that still prohibited? Using any techniques to alter or falsify a device's location, for example, GPS spoofing. Selling or trading accounts is the last one. And people are going on eBay and selling these things all the time, selling these Pokemon. So I know some of that still exists, and it's kind of weird to me, but I've known people who have done it. I don't really see anything wrong with that either. If you don't play anymore and you spend a lot of money in this game and you want to at least get something back out of it, right? Oh, I spent $100 on this game and I've got rare Pokemon, and hey, $10 each or something. I don't see anything wrong with that, but that's the new rule. So we'll continue on because I wanted to end it there, but here we go. 3.5, because that was 3.1. Account suspension or termination. We may suspend or terminate your access to and use of the services at our sole discretion at any time and without notice to you, including if you fail to comply to these terms. We suspect fraud, cheating, or misuse by you of content services, or we suspect any other unlawful activity associated with your account. If your account is inactive, not used or logged into for a period of time, we will notify you via services or in the app prior to termination of your account. So if you don't play anymore, they're talking about getting rid of your account, and that's a way for them to say, well, if you don't play anymore, you may decide to sell your stuff or share your account because you've got all these rares, and we don't want you to do those things. So what better way to make you come back and play other than to prod you and say, we'll delete your account if you don't use it. So that's kind of awful there, but hey, if it means they have less accounts to back up on their servers because they noticed a lot of people aren't playing anymore, you can't really knock them for that. So it's best to make your decisions early on if you're going to keep playing this game or not, to avoid having to start all over. If you said, I'm going to take a break for a couple months, or maybe you played with a partner and y'all aren't together anymore, and so Pokemon has a different place in your priorities right now, and you want to just put it down for a minute, they're telling you, hey, we'll send you a warning before we delete your account. But not only that, we actually don't have to. We can just do it when we feel like it. You may terminate your account at any time by visiting the app help centers. Upon termination of any service of your account, the following provision of these terms will survive. Content ownership, so you still own it. Rights granted by you. Disclaimer of warranties. Anonymity. Limitation of liability. Dispute resolution. General terms. And this sentence on termination. So they started talking about who can use the service and talking about who defines as a child and all that. I didn't really pay attention to much of that because it's not something I have to really worry about. Recordings and use of likeness. Here we go. You consent to and approve of Niantic's recording of your image, likeness, name, dialogue, biographic information, personal characteristics, and voice at events, and the royalty-free use of this information subject to change to the same rights granted by you. So this means Niantic can use your content to promote themselves and everything like that too, right? If you're recording a YouTube video and you're at one of their events and what have you, they can go ahead and do that. So there you go. This was a doozy. I think that was it. So let me know your thoughts because, like I said, some of this stuff I'm like, hey, I see no problem with it personally. But some of the stuff they leave to open to interpretation. Some people might think this stuff isn't fair, but if you haven't been paying attention and you just clicked agree, hopefully you watched my video and you're at least aware now of what's happening in the game. Hopefully they walk back some of this stuff, especially the sharing of accounts, because some people only have one phone and they might log out of that phone and log in another account, and Niantic might say, oh, you're cheating. Hey, I don't have multiple phones, so it doesn't mean I can't play. Or, hey, my kid broke their phone, so the other kids, they share a phone now, and it's just, there's a lot of gray overlap there. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be back soon with the end of the current research that I'm, at the tail end of, and we'll see what new stuff they have in store for us coming soon. I hope that there's some more fusion stuff going on. They didn't just leave that for Necrozama. Maybe some breeding of Pokemon. I'm looking forward to all that. But let me know how you did. How was your Go Fest? What do you feel about this new information that I just shared with you? See you in the next one. Other Yellow Hat Guy is out. Hey, how are you? I'm Captain Sensation. I'm on Twitch and YouTube. Enjoy my creations. Movie reviews, let's plays, they're amazing. Stay tuned for more. I'm Captain Sensation. Sympathy for Pokemon and Atari. Wait, here's more funny Mario Party. Games that are chores and some that are gnarly. Fun with Gen X, Virgin Rose, and Kari. Woo! There we go, y'all. Been waiting to do that for a little bit. But hey, see y'all on the next one. you.